All right. We back again with it.
We are back.
What we on this time?
Oh, GenderWars.
GenderWars. Because it's
Yeah.
super annoying right now. Like this
Oh
whole
my god.
this whole climate is the men versus women. And all right, at first it was like, all right, cool, seeing what each gender need to work on, but it ain't stopped. Like, what's the solution? It's super
Literally.
annoying. Or like, that's just me personally. Like when somebody present a problem, it's cool and all. Like, all right, so what's the solution? I don't have one. All right, you getting on my nerves and talking about
It is really
something with
annoying.
no conclusion. So it's like, what we gonna do?
It's become extra annoying, and I'm sure everybody has seen the videos like, oh, women this and men this, and oh, women need to do this, and women are superior because of this, and men are superior because of this. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, no, like let's just stop it, because at the end of the day, men and women are both superior in different ways, but it's meant to be that way for a reason. Like, we are two completely different genders. We both have our strengths and our weaknesses, and that's why when we get together, it's like, even when it goes to like the same sex relationships, it's the same thing. Like, one person always has like a better strength, you know what I mean, than the other person. So
it's the masculine and the feminine. That's what it comes down to.
it's
And
so
like,
frustrating.
yeah, it
The
is.
videos really irritate us nowadays.
It be the dumbest stuff. And for one, people not taking up for their own part in the situation. Like,
No.
for example, this ain't men or women. This is either side. It's like, if you keep dating the same type of person because you got a type, like, and people ignore, you do turn people down along the way because you're not interested. They might not be your type. That might have been what was good for you, but you wanted something else. That's what happened a lot of times. We get self-sabotage.
Oh yeah,
And people,
a good thing.
yeah, and it's like, all right, if you pick 3 people that was trash in a row, 1, 2, 3, nobody put a weapon to your head and made you pick those 3 people
Over and over again.
Yeah, so that's where people got to realize you picked that.
And you're the one who has a problem. Like, maybe you should go and do something different. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I think one of the biggest cliches is probably like the girls who go after like bad guys. You know what I mean? Like the bad boy kind of thing. But if you keep picking that over and over again, and it's the bad boy in all the wrong ways, like they don't care about you, you know what I mean? They leave for hours, they're gone for hours in the night and don't come home, like they're cheating on you, they're all these things, like you've seen the red flags. You just decided to pick it over and over again.
Because you feel like it benefits you in some way. But people, that's something that's gonna get ignored. You knew a lot of times right from wrong. Like, you got life's answers and you got our answers.
Yep.
As humans, we gonna come up with our own answer, knowing like your gut will tell you not to do something, but you gonna do it anyway. But that gut feeling was the answer.
Period.
And then you come up with your own answer, like, but I like. After that part is your fault at this point. But I like this about. So what? This is the answer. This this ain't the vibe you need to go for. Like, for example, how Michael B. Jordan get called corny.
Yeah.
All right. So if somebody, not him in particular, like if somebody like this is a nice guy, that's the answer. This is the nice guy, and this is where the human answer come in. But he's corny, so I'm going over here. At that point, you came up with your own answer because this ain't what you want to deal with. But this is what you knew was more beneficial. So once us as people can understand that we make our own choices, that's how we'll move forward.
Yeah, and actually take accountability for the choices that we do make and the people that we choose. Like, at the end of the day, if you choose somebody to like marry or have a baby with, like, you can't sit there and blame everything on that person. Like, oh, he does this and he does that. Oh, but he's been that way since you met him.
Right.
Like, what has changed?
For real, like,
he's been that way. Like, nothing has changed. You know what I mean? I think sometimes, I think it's easier said than done. But like having to take off the love goggles and look at things from like the outside perspective. Like, okay, maybe this is not. If I want a family and things, then maybe it's not a good idea to have a child with somebody who doesn't put family first.
Well, that's a big one. Like, when it comes to having kids together, you gotta go through tough times with a person first before y'all have a kid together. Because at that point, if y'all ain't had to go through no hard battles before and now y'all got a kid, this y'all first tough battle, and it ain't something that you could just hit undo on. Like that's a big thing. And
so nerve-wracking because most people don't go through anything. You know, a lot of people just end up having a baby with
like
somebody.
in the first year or so,
Yeah.
that's a big thing. It's like, well, I like them and they like me. And a lot of times, when y'all gonna have kids? Like, hold on.
Oh my God!
Like,
how many times have we been asked when we're gonna have kids?
Yeah, and that's another
So
thing.
many
And people don't realize how important bringing a life is with another human being. Like, that's not something to rush just because y'all like each other and stuff. Like, that's something you wait on for a while.
For us,
Yeah,
it's not like that with everybody.
Yeah.
Like some people want to do that first. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah,
like,
teach his own.
Yeah, everybody has a different life path.
But for the ones that always say, like, you never know a person until you have a kid with them. Take it,
or
get
move
to know
in
them.
with them.
Yeah, get to know them, live together. If you feel like that's something that could be a deal breaker, if you feel like that's the vibe you're on, then yeah, go for it.
Moving in with somebody is like one of the biggest like tests. I feel like because you go from like seeing each other maybe, you know, a couple times a week or even every day, but you're not like really living with them.
Yeah, it's like a couple hours.
Yeah. And like meshing two people's lives together whenever you come together and live under the same roof with each other and you're together all the time, it's like, okay, now you're really seeing like how they live, how they go about their day to day, how they handle like their ups, their downs, like everything.
Yeah, that's important. Looking at that stuff, I think that's some of the stuff that help with the whole gender war thing. Like really get to know a person first.
And just get to know the genders in general. Like not the same thing isn't gonna apply to every female and every man, but like there are basic principles that are kind of just like
similar
yeah,
like a foundation.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like, I mean both people, like men and women, usually what women want is like the same things and what men want is like the same things, you know what I mean? Like men want peace, you know what I mean? They want to be able to come home and it not be just crazy, you know, they deal with their hard day at work and they come home and they want it to be peaceful. So like that's one of their main things, and respect. Like those are two main things that like men want. And then for women, like we want to be provided for and protected and feel like we're safe. So it's it's like main things that you have with the genders in general. Yeah,
and then once you get with the person and you get more of the detail what this person like. But like Lexi said, like you want to understand the basic foundation. If you're a man, you've been a man your whole life. All you know is how men think. So you gotta study how women think. If you're a woman, you've been a woman your whole life. Forget what you heard other women say a man won't. Ask the man himself or study men to get those answers. That's how
your
you understand
cousins, your uncles, your dad, your grandpa. Ask them what they would like. If they were to pick 3 things that they would want from a woman, just ask them. I guarantee like all of them have similar answers.
Right. Yeah, that comes down to understanding the opposite gender. Because you always hear stuff like the word on the street. You ask the average woman, what do a man want? Oh, I cook, I clean, and it's just like nobody cares about that. Like that's cool and all, but you can hire somebody.
Care about that, but it's not.
That's
what
not
makes
what
or breaks it.
No, that's not like what men are looking for. Like that's like the sprinkles on the donut. Like oh, that's cool too, but but the donut itself is garbage with some sprinkles on. You cook and clean, but you're not peaceful. Yeah, like it's stuff like that. Or on the other end, like a man that feel like oh, I just gotta buy her and give her this, and then it'd be cool, but don't listen. Like you gotta be a good listener to be a good leader. These things come into mind, especially like as a man, like how you are with your homies and stuff. If you not looked at as a leader amongst your friends, or at least somebody your homie can come to them like, bro, what you think about this, and they can trust your judgment. You gotta work on having that type of judgment before you lead a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like
a woman isn't gonna be led like that. Like we're just not. You know what I mean? If we see that somebody is like not capable, we're gonna be like, okay.
Like, bro, you can't lead nobody. You ain't about to lead a family.
Like no.
Yeah, that's important.
Very important. But that goes into the whole gender war thing because I think it ends up being a lot of miscommunication. At the end of the day, men just, some of them don't know what women really want, or some of them are clouded by everything that they see on social media.
Right. How ironic. We putting this on social media just to undo it.
But it's true,
Yeah.
like men and women. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
like all you're seeing on social media as a woman is like men like cheating and like, you know, like treating women bad and like all this stuff, then you're gonna have in your mind that that's how all men are.
Right.
And then same goes the other way. Like if you see on social media all day that like women are gold diggers and they're promiscuous and things like that, then that's the idea that they're gonna have of all women if you're seeing it repeatedly, like over and over again. So then you start thinking, and then on top of it, you start seeing women in your own life that are like that, or men in your own life that are like that. Then you're gonna think that all men are like that, or all women are like that.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because that's kind of the whole agenda with social media in a nutshell, is to put something out there, and if all day you scrolling on your phone, like this is the stuff you're gonna start to get brainwashed with.
Yeah.
And you start to look for that. You know, that's you basically manifesting that into your real life, because this is what you think about, this is what you talk about. And so this is the type of energy you're gonna draw around you. You're gonna see people that are trash, because all you look at trash all day and you talk about trash, and now you see trash people. But in reality, there's a lot of people that are great people. It's a lot of educated people. It's a lot of nice people. And if you look at that on social media, you will actually realize how many people are like that around you. Like, oh, I do know, some women that are respectful and they graduated and they did this and they focus on themselves. Yeah, they're good wives.
Moms.
Yeah, but if you being shown the exact opposite, that's the stuff that's gonna stand out to you.
It's literally a form of manifestation. Like the more that your brain focuses on one thing, the more you end up seeing it. Yeah. And the same goes the other way. So the more your brain focuses on like people being good people, the more good people you start seeing.
Right.
Or if your brain is only saying like, oh, everybody's bad, like I can't trust anybody, like blah blah blah, you know what I mean? Then that's what you see.
Yeah, you're gonna draw that type of crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or draw that out of people, you know what I mean? Because it's really, everybody has a mixture of everything inside of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as a person, you can draw out bad or you can draw out good from people. And that's how I feel. Yeah,
and then I feel like if you focus on the good people, even if you do see the bad people, you can care less, because you know your mind is so focused on like, man, I know some cool people, and that's who your energy, and that's the type of company you want around you. So when you come around somebody that's on something bogus, you like, you gotta go, man, because this ain't the vibes I'm on, the vibes that I accept in my life.
And it does make it easier to recognize it too.
Yeah, it does.
You naturally have like a good environment and like good energy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden something like bad is trying to enter it. Like it's immediate you being able to recognize it, because you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, like, oh, you gotta bounce.
You gotta get out of my circle.
Yeah.
Because you could just hang out over there. You don't have to be over here.
No, you don't. So, in your words, how do you feel like, or would it help the whole gender war right now on both sides?
Understanding. Yeah, I think that we have to come to a point where we understand each other. You know what I mean? And instead of knocking people down for feeling that way, kind of like, understanding and embracing it. Because, see, even for like the provisioning aspect of things, like people want to call, like men want to call women gold diggers for certain things, but like you have to understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean? Like they're not, some of them. Some aren't just being like gold diggers. They just want to know that they're going to have security in their household. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a lot of them don't even know what they're saying. Like there's some that are like, oh, I need my man to make $2 million a year. It's like, okay. I feel like what you're really saying is you just need your lifestyle to be provided for. Some people go overboard, but like just having an understanding of what like men and women need in general. It's the same thing that women say about like men, like, oh, you just want a mother because they want somebody to, you know, help out around the house and cook and do things, you know. Sometimes it's just like just finding a balance. It's not so much having to attack each other. Yeah,
that's, I think what it help is understanding the difference between like reality and trauma. And a lot of the times people look at stuff like men are like this. All right, are you saying in reality men are like this, or are you traumatized by the men that you dealt with or the women you dealt with? All right, man, I can't stand, I don't respect these women, blah, blah, blah. or you meet a new woman and you treat her, giving her the revenge off of what somebody else did 10 years ago. Like that's what's happening a lot on both sides. It's not being able to take, you really feel a certain way, not because it's what you see, but because of what you've been through.
Your experience. And that's the thing. People can only a lot of people can only look at the world through their own experiences. So if all they have experienced is bad situations with men or women, then that's how they see the world.
Right. And you gotta really question yourself and ask, do I feel like this with all people? Because at the end of the day, if you really felt that way, you wouldn't be trying to meet nobody new. Because if you feel like everybody is bad for you, you wouldn't still have a little bit of hope. Like, all right, hopefully this person is nice, because at the end of the day, nobody is trying to be alone.
Right. And there's reality, and then there's the reality that you made in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even whenever certain situations happen between two people, like sometimes a person can only see it from their own reality, how it made them feel, how, but they don't see it from the other person's side. That's why everybody says there's like their truth, and then the middle, which is like the actual truth.
Yeah, that's for real.
And that's facts.
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what we feel like. I mean, y'all can drop your own opinions on here, but I feel like everybody, for one, gotta understand each other, where we coming from. And when somebody is saying how they feel, ask why. Like, let's pinpoint. It's not what you do, it's why you do what you do, who makes you who you are. So, all right, why do you feel like that? Because sometimes you might have an answer and you don't even know why you feel like that, because you ain't never been asked why. And it's like, what makes you hate people like that? Dang, I don't know. And then that's how we get to the root, and then that's how we go forward. You gotta know where you're coming from.
Deep.
Yeah, to know where you're going, you gotta know where you're coming from.
Yeah, even like if something happens and it makes you feel some type of way inside, you have to question yourself on the inside, like, why did that just make me feel that way?
Yeah.
Like, where is the root of that feeling? Like,
yeah, it's all about growth. That's what it comes down to. So let's grow as a people. Oh, we about to have some more people. We're gonna have everybody we know on here. Because everybody had different experiences and got different points of view.
Yes, we gotta bring our friends onto this because they're dope.
Oh yeah, they cool. So next time we touch this topic, we might have 2, 3, 4, 5 more people on here with us.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so
joining in on the conversation. Yeah, we hang out with a lot of good, like, people who do a lot of introspection, is what I say.
Yeah, I think honestly, once you start to live your life that way, instead of just being mad and upset and really understand why,
blaming the world.
Yeah, like you tend to want to be around people just like that. Like we said in the beginning, you don't want to be around people that just complain with no solution, because that's the average person in life. Wake up and complain, I hate my job, I don't like this, and it's like, all right, so what you gonna do about it? A lot of times people don't have a goal to get to.
They don't have an answer.
No, you just wake up and complain and do it every day.
On repeat.
Yeah,
like,
with
what
no
type
escape.
of life is that to live?
Yeah. And that's the same with the whole gender war. Like, all right, we're gonna keep complaining about what we don't like about women, and women complaining about what they don't like about us. All right, we're gonna fix it, because it's getting old.
It is, yeah. Even just simple things. That's probably for another video, but just simple things about, like, people complaining about their situation. Like, what is there that you can do to change it then? Like, I used to get that all the time, just even being a travel nurse. Like, oh, I wish I could go do that. Well, why can't you?
Yeah.
Why can't you? Because there's people that, they didn't have much tying them down. Like, I understand everybody's situation is different. Kids and, sick parents and everything. But, like, there's people who really didn't have a reason not to.
Yeah, because life is hard, but it ain't. Sometimes we make things a little bit harder because we go the easier, more comfortable route, instead of having to go through a tougher time in order to have a easier future.
We've thrown ourselves into a lot of situations that were uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Moving out of state.
Yeah.
Like, you moved out of state first into a whole new state, and then we moved out of state together. It's like, that's not comfortable.
It ain't normal. Like, it's easy to just be like, man, I've been at this job 5 years. I'm gonna just chill here. Like, I ain't about to start over new somewhere else. That's hard. Yeah, that's hard. But the after effect, you find a new career or something. Then it's like, man, I'm glad I went through that tough time for a year or two for my next 5 to 10 years to be smooth.
Most definitely.
Yeah, but that's another topic.
That's another video.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
gonna
drop
have
that.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So subscribe. See y'all next time.